Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and welcome back to January's episode of Hot or Not, where I review brand spanking new releases for your amusement, so that you can see whether you think it's a book that you would like to pick up. And so every month I have a vote between two books, and the book that won the poll that I put up in December was Your Neighbour's Table by Byeong-mo, translated by Chi Young Kim. This book is also known as Apartment Women in other countries, the US and others I assume. Same cover, same author, same translator, different title. So yes, if you have seen one and not the other, they are one and the same. So what is this book about? This book is centred around a group of families who move into a government subsidised apartment building in Korea, and there are certain benefits to moving into this. It's cheaper, but it's a bit off the beaten track, and there is a clause within the contract that says that if they move in here, then they have to have 3 children whilst they are living there. And that is in an attempt to boost the population after population declines. So I thought that sounded like a really interesting concept, and some of the themes that were covered in this were really, really interesting. So it looks at sort of why women are choosing either not to have children or to only have one child, trying to find the balance between motherhood and work, and how that impacts the family dynamic. Communal living was quite a key theme in this book, and it was really interesting to think about how we just don't really do communal living anymore. We've really moved away from shared responsibilities and all pitching in, and that is quite a shame in a lot of ways, but we've become very recluse in our society, and I thought it was an interesting topic to explore. It also looks quite hard at the role of a mother and how that can differ from family to family, from mother to mother, and so I enjoyed the themes, and I enjoyed the sort of thought-provokingness of the book, and unfortunately that's sort of where my likes end for this, because this book was very much a plotless book, which doesn't often work for me. So the synopsis that I just outlined, really nothing else happens in the book. There's a few things, but really it's all about the themes. And I can sometimes move past a plotless book if the characters are really strong. However, because this was a very short book and it followed 3 women predominantly, we never really spent that much time with any of them. I never felt like we got a real deep look into them. It was just a surface level look at the characters, but what that meant to society and how that built into the author's exploration of these themes. And that's just not my jam. I want some plot and some character. I want all of the things, and really there was only theme. This was a very theme-based book, and that does not work for me. But the thing that really grated on my nerves, and I don't know if this was an intentional attempt by the author or not, but it felt like the author was saying, actually, it doesn't matter what you do as a mother. You can be a stay-at-home mother. You can be a working from home mother while the husband goes out. You can be a working mother while the husband stays at home. Whichever option you choose, you are going to fail. You are going to be a rubbish person and a rubbish mother. That's how it felt to me. Like, none of these women did a good job. So whether that was an intentional device by the author to say, you know, women don't, it's really hard for women to get it right, but it just felt like a dig. It felt like a personal attack at mothers, and that really annoyed me. It annoyed me a lot. And the fact that none of the men in this book really had any accountability. It was all on the women, and it just boiled my piss a bit. So yes, that that did not work for me. It's a real shame because I think Korean literature is really on the rise, and I think there have been some fantastic books coming out of Korea, and this one had such potential, and then I was just so angry by the end of the book that yeah, and there's not really a lot more I can say about it. It was about 200 pages long, and as I say, there was no real plot to dig your teeth in. The characters were very boring and we didn't really dive into them, so I can't really say much about that. I've already talked about the themes. So overall this book was a massive flop for me, which is a shame. I gave it 2 stars, definitely not hot. I would not recommend picking this one up. But if you don't mind a book that has limited plot and poorly developed characters, then this could be your book. So yeah, as usual, give me a flame or an ice cube emoji in the comments, depending on whether you think this book sounds hot or not. I feel like I have somewhat swayed the narrative in one direction. But there we go, you win some, you lose some. I will be putting up the poll for February's hot or not pick at the same time that this video goes live, so head over to my community tab and vote there if you want to choose what book I review in February. I will leave the last book that I reviewed, Hum by Helen Phillips, for this series, just here for you to check out if you so wish. It's a much better book. And I will see you all very soon with another one. Bye guys.